Mental Wellness Month is celebrated from January 1st to 31st January every year. So we'll be starting the questions on that, on the mental health issues. Before we start with the question, I would like to know about yourself.
Okay. Thank you for having me here, Kaushik, to begin with. I'm Psychotherapist Aditi Tendulkar. I am the running founder of Soul Healing Counselling Center. We are a running establishment for about 8 years now. We provide a wide range of services under the spectrum of mental health. And I personally have a background of masters in clinical psychology, masters in counseling, and masters in psychoanalysis. And we've been doing this work for a bit now. And we recently opened our new center in Panjim about this month. And any more information that you'd like to get about us, you can check it out on our website www.soulhealing.co.in.
What does mental health issue means exactly?
Okay. So every person has a body and has a brain, right? As long as we have a body, we have physical issues. Different forms of physical issues that different people experience. As long as we have a working brain, as long as we can think, we can feel, we get affected by things, that constitutes our mental health. So as long as we are conscious, as long as we are aware, as long as we are going through life, going through different situations, it is natural for us to be affected by different things around. And mental health predominantly constitutes the way we think, feel, and behave.
What are the main symptoms to know that we are suffering from any of mental health issues, and after knowing how we can tackle it?
One of the main things that people start noticing is changes in their sleep, changes in their appetite, changes in their regular activities. That's one of the most important things where we can physiologically start noticing those forms of changes. Apart from that, the things that we really like to do, we may not feel that energetic, we may not feel that productive to do in it. We may have intense emotions like a constant feeling of maybe hopelessness, a constant lingering feeling of anxiousness about day to day activities. We might even stop socializing with people, we might want to isolate ourselves. So, these are predominantly the small changes that you start noticing within your own self. But most importantly, your sleep, appetite, and your activity level massively shifts.
Can mental health issues be completely cured?
Um, well, as long as we are taking care of ourselves, as long as we are taking precautions, as long as we are actively dealing with all the things that bother us, it can be managed to a large extent. However, cured might not be the right terminology to use because as long as we have a mental health, as long as we have a mind, we will have different issues that we will experience. But as long as we are managing them, as long as we are coping with them in healthier ways, we can find a way to deal with them more healthily.
What are the best ways to take care of our mental health so that it doesn't become worse?
Most important is being aware of what is happening within you. Paying attention to your thoughts, paying attention to your emotions, paying attention to what are the triggers, what makes you feel angry, what makes you feel anxious, what makes you feel afraid. Just being more in touch with yourself is one of the most important things. Apart from that, workout. As much as our body can have a lot of benefits from physically working out, our mental health also can have various benefits to regular working out. So when we work out, we secrete a lot of hormones which are necessarily good for us. We are also releasing a lot of emotions in that context. We are able to feel better about ourselves. So workout also. Maintaining a good enough sleep cycle, very important. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is essential for any human being to go ahead with their day-to-day tasks, to have uh, a good sense of presence of their mind when it comes to tackling everyday situation. And obviously diet and other things like that.
Is diet and exercise enough to maintain a good mental health?
It's very important, but I won't say it's enough, right? Along with that, we need to have a good enough support system people who don't judge us, people who we can be around. Of course, if situations do get worse, you need to consult a psychologist, a therapist, and then obviously, if symptoms are much more, you need to consult a psychiatrist to take the help that you need.
Can people suffer from other diseases due to issues in mental health?
See, when we talk about a human being, our physical health and mental health are correlated to each other, are dependent on each other, right? Like, for example, when we are extremely stressed, we we experience different forms of physiological symptoms, like maybe headache, sometimes fever, sometimes loose motions and things like that. So in that context, our mental health does have an impact on our physical health, but our physical health also has an impact on mental health. Let's say that someone's experienced an accident due to which they cannot walk. Being in a situation like this for a long period of time, there are high chances that they will experience various mental health problems. So we can safely say that there is a high correlation between mental health and one's physical health. So if we don't take care of our mental health for too long, there can be chances that it might affect our physical health also.
People have wrong beliefs and misunderstanding about mental health issues, so they never go for a scientific, optimistic, and positive approach to see towards it and be aware not to spread false information regarding it. What do you to say about on this?
Um, Mental health and the fields that we have been working with have had various stigmas and taboos associated with it for a long period of time now. Of course, things are evolving, but a lot of people feel that there is a certain level of weakness when it comes to seeing a therapist or seeing a professional when it comes to their day to day issues, because they feel like my life I should be able to take care of, you know. And this is where there might be a lot of misunderstandings, because when you're seeing a psychiatrist, you're seeing a psychotherapist, you're seeing a psychologist, these people are clinically trained to understand how the mind really functions, what are the skills and tools one can really use to monitor their thoughts, monitor their actions, monitor their emotions. And that's why visiting a therapist, even if you don't think your problems are that big, but just to have a conversation in a non judgmental and accepting space, can really bring about various changes. So, as much as people find it very difficult to approach, I will say that it will really help in whatever context, in whatever situation you are of your life. At least give it a try, because counseling is something that does help.
Make mental health your priority, but ongoing generation is more suffering in mental health issues, but they do not consult this problem of difficulties to doctor. What do you to say about on this?
Today, more than ever, we have so much of stress that we experience: work stress, relationship stress, family stress, and we don't have the same community experiences that we used to have back in the day. A lot of nuclear families, a lot of isolations, a lot of traveling for work to various places. These kind of things kind of deprives us from having a healthy support system around us. And like we've discussed in the previous question, that mental health is something that is still considered to be having a lot of stigma and taboo associated with it. So people do feel that going to a therapist or going to a professional makes them weak, or makes them feel that things are not working out for them.
Even when a patient knows that he is facing mental health problems, he don't consult doctor mainly lack of privacy and completely fear of information getting shared.
That makes sense, right? Because when you're coming to a therapist, either a psychotherapist or you're going to a psychiatrist, we have to tell the doctor intricate details of our life, the very personal things, the kind of things that you wouldn't share with people who you don't know. So obviously that fear is always there, that what if, someone speaks about this to somebody else and things like that. However, any professional, ideally a psychologist, a psychotherapist, or a psychiatrist, abides by 100% privacy and confidentiality rules. At least at our center, we always give a full fledged contract to all of our clients who come in, explicitly stating what confidentiality entails. and how we are going to make in efforts to maintain that confidentiality. Of course, there are certain cases where you cannot maintain that confidentiality, in the cases where you know that your patient has a potential to either harm themselves or somebody else. Under those circumstances, we are required to follow certain protocols. But again, all of this is discussed with the clients when they are signing these kind of confidentiality agreements.
Many benefits of the being of psychologist is the ability to assist people, be present for them, help them to deal with their various problems. But doing this on an everyday basis can be exhausting emotionally. So, how do you deal or manage your mental health?
That's a good question, actually. Um, well, ideally, all practicing therapists need to have their own therapist. So, ethically, all of us need to have our own therapist who we at least see once a month. Apart from that, I guess a good workout, everyday workout, some form of meditation tools, a daily forms of journaling where you're writing down your thoughts, your emotions, being aware of what is really happening, following a good enough sleep schedule, following a good diet, like a healthy diet. Um, Things like this can really help balance your mental health to the best, to be your best version for your clients whenever they come, right? So all of these things kind of help. Apart from that, having a healthy support system, extremely important. We need to be around people who accept us, who don't judge us, who we can freely be ourselves with. So these kind of things definitely help when it comes to maintaining a healthy mental health.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.